Hey everyone, this is my Patreon proud reaction to the second episode of Onimonogatari. And last episode, we had a run-in with a very mysterious thing. I mean, we don't know exactly what it is, we just kind of call it a darkness. I believe Shinobu said that it wasn't actually an aberration, so we don't really know much about what we're dealing with at all, just that it's not an aberration and that it's very dangerous. So I guess that's enough to know at least to stay away from it, but hopefully we can get a bit more information in this episode. And also, the second most important thing is that Araragi did a lot of kissing in the episode, none of which was with his girlfriend, though, so I'm not sure how she'll feel about any of that, but we'll see, maybe, later. So, yeah, let's just get into the episode and see what we do about the current situation. 3, 2, 1, play. It's a lot of hair. I wouldn't dream of it. Alright, that's good to get into. And penguins, right? Penguins. No, but they're penguins, that's what matters. Oh, okay, I got you now. So you wouldn't be as powerful there, I guess? Penguins tell no stories. Yeah, that's not a good situation. Apparently you got out of it. I see. Yeah, of course, ours is way better. Well, damn, don't do that. So you just happen to run into Japan, you know, little island in the middle of the ocean. Kind of reminds me of Lilo and Stitch, how, you know, he's gonna fall into the water, but there just happened to be land there. But it was Hawaii instead of Japan. Onimonogatari. So yeah, that's how she ended up in Japan. I see. I mean, the real reason is the author is Japanese, but this is the universe reason. Yeah, this opening. I remember this opening. It definitely left an impression on me. I can't extract a lot of meaning from it. Other people probably could. But it's definitely something. There's like no lyrics or anything. It's just so interesting. Shinobu Time Part 2. A big splash, I guess? Make a wave? So I guess we caused a bit of issue there. I guess not really a negative issue, just, you know, an event. Okay, I see. So you just become the god all of a sudden? Fall from the sky and do all that? Yeah. So yeah, a bunch of new people to have faith in her and stuff, so it's gotta work out for her. Why does she got so powerful? On a radio show there, Shinobu. I guess so. Yeah, I guess it would make quite an impression on Japanese people where, you know, blonde people aren't even around. Yeah. A year, it's about what I expected. I disagree. I think you make a wonderful god. Yeah, when is she gonna wake up? Because, you know, a year really isn't that long for someone like her. Just random fish there. Doesn't make her a terrible god. You can do a lot of things, Shinobu. I can't keep track. Never would have guessed you could travel through time, so. Yeah, she can just do that. Just killing time as a local people's god, you know? Why not? It never is it? But as a god, does that make a difference? Because he didn't truly understand what you were. A god vampire, why not? I mean, being a god's probably an upgrade from being a vampire, it's hard to say. I guess. Yeah, him, the first minion. It's a long blade, wow. I mean, I know it is, we've seen it before, but just wow. And there's some Oni for you. Vampire hunter. Does the name help with that? Yeah, who could bother to remember the name of their first minion, really? It's not like it's important or anything. uh, Bike out of nowhere. We got a little bit shorter. You would assume, but... So just a coincidental meeting? Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Nobody would have said, hey, there's a vampire over here. So... she wouldn't be a target. Nobody's gonna come exterminate some people's god, that's no. I just love how much we get to hear Shinobu talk this episode. Yume Watari. Yeah, that's what Hiroba Katana does. Huh. Interesting. I see. Well, yeah, I would always come to visit Shinobu. Not a bad question. Not the worst thing ever. I mean, so far I haven't seen too much negative about the story. I guess so. But you could be discreet, just suck a little blood on the side. Oh, that snake thing. So she just kind of gathers them. I mean, close enough. That makes sense. I guess this would be a big problem. Okay. Oh, wow, that's a shot. Whew, anyway. Yeah, probably. I'm sure it wasn't an aberration or anything. But yeah, I guess that's where we're gonna start getting into the darkness. Can't be much of a god if there's no people. Well, damn. And why don't we go outside? So it has its limits. Well, that wind was a little stronger. But it had to be somewhere, right? Well, clearly. So I went home. I mean, yeah, that's what you do. Just not feeling well, go take a nap. Oh, how rude. Was it the minion or the enemy? Okay, that's what I thought. I don't know, you trying to throw me off? Nice little pose there. Well, I bet. It's... Yeah. So basically affirming that the darkness is Shinobu's fault, which makes sense. A lot of things seem to be. Uh... So how did you deal with this back then? Well, good thing it didn't get all of you. That's a lot of hair, so... Alright. Just Rapunzel our way to Antarctica. Yeah, it makes sense. But you eventually went back, clearly. Well, yeah, but... I mean... Yeah, but... I'm a little confused as well. Alright, so I guess, is that enough? Well, yeah, he would definitely reach out for help in that situation. Okay, just take a little bit of him with you. Okay, so that's how I first became the minion. I guess you don't need much of him left at all to do that. So it was to save his life, kind of like with Araragi. Well, it can't really be a god anymore because the people that worshipped you were gone. And okay, that's the end of the episode. Well, I think there's a little bit left. Like these are preview and stuff. Oh wow, Shinobu's voice actress, she better have been paid a lot this episode. Because man, the word count that she must have went through. It was a lot to take in, I'll be honest. Like, just so much reading. I bet this show is a lot easier to watch if you don't have to rely on subs. Because this was a very, like, exposition-heavy episode. Like, good god. Which I didn't mind at all, because Shinobu was the one giving it, but just a wow. Like, if Meme was doing it, I probably would have gotten bored halfway through, but that wasn't the case. I do, you just slept through the whole thing, so... You failed, but I thought... Because we know he committed suicide, we know that much from Kizu. Yeah, it's what she said. So... It'd be so painful, though. Uh... Yeah, that makes sense. Becoming what you fight and kill, that can't be easy. It's a little bit rude. After she went to the trouble of saving him. Well, a lot of it is kind of her fault. Just not intentional. Well, you were clearly wrong on that one. At least he called her Kiss Shot once. The fish, that's what Aragi called her too. Yeah, confirmed right there. That would probably put me off of making more minions as well. What about as a lolly pseudo-vampire? No. I mean, I saw the movie a long time ago, I guess. Interesting topic of discussion. Yeah. Okay. That's that. That was the second episode of Onimonogatari. And yeah, what can I really say in this discussion segments? Before it started, I said I wanted to know more about what exactly the darkness is, and we, I guess, got our answer. Like, we got a lot of Shinobu backstory, and there's a lot to take in. She went to Antarctica at some point, realized there were no people there, no people to see her, acknowledge her as a vampire, so I guess that was a bad thing. Just kind of does a desperate leap over into the ocean, but turned out to land in Japan instead in a lake, caused rain. People saw that, like, wow, look at this golden goddess coming from the lake and helping us and saving us. We shall now worship her. Yeah, she's great. That's kind of what happened there. So she just kind of lived the god life for a while there, which was nice for the most part. She did her role pretty well, it seems like. She eventually ran into the guy that would eventually be her first minion, but not like in big conflict or anything because she wasn't seen as a vampire there, which is one of the bigger problems because the show talked about before how aberrations, they exist because people think they exist and all that, but they see her, they know she exists, they believe in her, but not as what she originally was. They view her as something different, you know, as a god, not a vampire, and that would have some kind of effect for sure. But it does mean that she's not being hunted as a vampire or anything during that time frame. So, but things started to go wrong, people started to disappear, and this whole darkness thing started to become a thing. I am a little bit confused exactly what the darkness is still. Like, I know they tried to explain it because they talked about how Shinobu, when she stays in a place for too long, she like attracts bad energy, and that attracts aberrations and all that. I know they talked about that, but it wasn't doing it the way it was supposed to, and it would result in that darkness instead. Like, I may have to re-watch some of most parts to really get it, but I get the gist of it, you know? She is what resulted in the darkness, which I guess is the important part, and that's what swallowed people up, and almost swallowed her up, and almost swallowed up, you know, the original aberration killer. And she barely managed to escape with the last quarter of her body, along with his hand, you know, over to Antarctica, where she was able to make him into her first minion. And since Kizu knew about her first minion, like that she made one a long time ago, he was Japanese, and he committed suicide. Like, we knew all that about him, but very little else, and this expanded a lot on that, which is good because I always had been kind of curious exactly what the deal with that was. And given the circumstances, you know, because we didn't really know too much about why he committed suicide, just he couldn't accept being a vampire, which, according to Shinobu, is common amongst vampires. But it makes a lot more sense if he, like, you know, killed aberrations like vampires and stuff. Suddenly becoming one, that probably wouldn't be too good for him. Like, he was already pretty upset before that because of losing all of his people and whatnot. So yeah, I get that he might not be super happy, but she did save him, so she was at least gave him a chance. Like, there's always a chance he might accept the vampire life. So, and he couldn't make that choice until after she, you know, brought him back. So I don't know. I guess it's a little bit of a complicated issue to really say who's in the right there. But anyway, that was like the first minion she ever made, and it seems like it kind of put her off from making minions for a while, which certainly makes sense. And yeah, that's pretty much where the story ended off, right? It's just she just sad, looking sad over in Antarctica, left the blade behind. Oh yeah, we found out about another blade because we had heart spam, whatever it's called. Kokoro Watari, I think, is the actual name of it. And then we had Yume Watari, the Dream Blade, which has like a kind of the opposite effect, which was really interesting to see that. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Inuyasha, how there were two blades. One was for like killing, one was for like healing, each given to a different brother. That kind of was what each of them needed. It's been a very long time since I watched Inuyasha, but that's one aspect of the show that I never forgot because it left such an impression on me. So it reminded me a little bit of that. So yeah, it's a lot of exposition, and the art style they used for it was pretty cool. Like, I'm not sure how you would describe it, but it was interesting. Like, her hair looks so long in some of those shots, which makes sense if she used it to like run away to Antarctica, which it kind of implied. Shinobu made a few good poses here and there throughout the story. Because while she's telling the story, like, there's not much for the characters to actually do. You know, it's one of those awkward light novel transition things where you can have a couple of characters talking for several pages or more in a light novel and, you know, nothing seems amiss. But in an anime, characters are expected to move and stuff, and so as a result, Shaft, what they usually just do is have characters do silly things, strike different poses, maybe change rooms, and, you know, little things like that. They've always done that in the show, but this has just been one of the heavier exposition dumps we've gotten in quite a while, I think. Like, it was a big one. So this episode was all about figuring out exactly the origin of the darkness, so I suppose next episode we'll be discussing how to deal with it, I would imagine. So yeah, very interesting story though. I do love getting Shinobu backstory. I definitely had one nice shot of Shinobu, or kiss shot, at like 12:10, just laying on that bed. That was good. That was really good. Yeah, it was a very interesting story, you know, because yeah, a super duper powerful blonde vampire coming out of a lake and saving them, that would make sense for them to think of her as a god, you know, causing miracles and saving them, because they're probably a fairly simple people, you know. This was hundreds of years ago, so I don't know. I like the story. It was a lot to just kind of be dumped at me, but I did like the story, I guess, is kind of my overall point. But anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens next. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Cnouki for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider clicking the like button and leaving a comment, because that's a great and easy way to let me know that people want more. If you want to do something big to help the channel, you can support me on Patreon and get nice benefits like early access to certain videos. See you next time.